Credit card debt has hit all-time highs in America, but a lot of people are embarrassed to admit they have credit card debt. I don't really see why, but it's okay. We got some solutions for you. So we really want you to stay for this whole video because we have some key solutions to dealing with this debt. Like some people have debt in literally the 10,000s. So yo, this is serious, bro. Let's get into this.
Yeah, and we're about to share a bunch of stuff with you guys, but make sure you guys please like this video because it does help out the channel a lot. And we want to make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel as well. So just do that for us real quick and we're about to get started. So as Rel said, Americans' credit card debt hits a record $1 trillion. Trillion with a T, bro. So it's a lot going on, right? It's not anything that's something to be proud of, but it's also not something you should be shameful about, right? I don't want you guys to feel embarrassed about it because look, you're not alone in this and we're gonna cover exactly what you need to do to let you know how you can get out of it. But here's a chart essentially that shows since 2013, you guys can see it, it continues to go up, 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 up. It went down during this little period of, quarantine because we weren't out. It made sense. No one was spending money. It was kind of quiet in that time period. But then look what happened, bro. If you peep, inflation was crazy during this time period. And that's why it ran all the way up. So I know you want to make a point on inflation real quick and how it really matters. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I want everybody to kind of remember how inflation works because people here, actually, this last week, the inflation numbers came out showing that we got a decrease in the year-over-year rate again. So people are like, oh, inflation's coming down. Yes, but when you look at the prices of everything, it's still just as expensive as it ever was. And you're probably like, yo, like, what's up? I thought price was supposed to come down. Nah, hold on, y'all. Let's remember, inflation is pretty much measuring the rate of price increases. All right, so don't think that just because inflation came down, your milk is gonna come back down to $2 a gallon. Nah, your milk is still gonna be $10 a gallon at this point. It's still gonna stay there. We're just thankful that it's not gonna go from $10 to $15 a gallon next month. It might go from $10 to $10.50. So it's a more gradual increase. That's what we wanted. We wanted around 2%, gradual increasing. But the point is, at the end of the day, things are still expensive. And that's why people still need this credit card debt that we're pretty much getting into detail about.
Yeah, and it's absolutely insane. So another thing is I need you guys to think about what's happening. Student loans are also going to come out and you guys are going to have to pay student loans if you have loans. So that money is going to go towards loans. Then you're going to be like, okay, what about the money that I have left? Because you weren't used to that payment, right? Now it's coming back. So it's like, okay, how can I survive? You're going to go back to debt. So we want you guys to pay very close attention because the average interest rate on current credit card accounts, and this is crazy, it's 20.68%. 20.68. Like it used to be, and I thought that was wild. That's 16 to 18%. Now we hit 20%. So guys, you have to pay very close attention because that's nearly 1/5 of what you already owe. You're accruing interest of that amount. It's kind of crazy to think about. Here's some other statistics for you guys. So it says a recent Go Banking Rate survey found that 30% of Americans have between $1,000 to $5,000 in credit card debt. If you guys have that much in credit card debt, I need you to pay very close attention right now. So if you guys are doing anything, please stop and focus. 15% have between $5,000 or more in credit card, and then 6% have $10,000 or more in credit card debt. So it might seem like a small number, 6%. 14 million is what that 6% represents. 14 million Americans have over $10,000 in credit card debt. So let's just go over, real quick, bro, how long that really takes. So we put in some numbers for you guys. If you guys have $10,000 in credit card debt and you guys are paying, the 20% interest that you guys accrue, let's just say you're paying the bare minimum, because I know a lot of people have to do that. Bro, it takes you 109 months to pay it off. You're paying back $11,680 of interest. So you're paying back more on interest than you are on the actual principal. Just let that sink in. I want to pause right here because let's talk about this, bro. Like, I don't want you guys to be embarrassed or nothing, but I want you guys to think about, and let's really have this conversation, is like, does this make sense?
Nah, and it doesn't make sense. People are paying double for the items that they bought. And some people say, hey, I kind of want my investments to outpace my debt. But y'all gotta understand, like with the interest rate being as high as it is right here on your debt, that's higher interest rate than it is in like the stock market, because the stock market right now, the S&P 500 is up about 17% on the year, but the credit card interest rate is higher than that, yeah.
And this is average, bro. This is not even credit cards are going as high as 28%. The luxury cards, the premium cards are 28%. This is the average one. So,
Yeah.
and to put into perspective, remember, we are huge advocates of you guys investing in like VOO, VTI, or like QQQ, like these index funds, right? Or ETFs. But if you guys just think about it, bro, when COVID was going crazy, S&P was returning like 25%. Everyone was bugging out, like, oh my God, it's amazing, because that's a crazy year for them. This is 20% every year that you're accruing. That's insane. True. So most of the time you're getting like 8 to 10%. So if you're following our strategy that we talk about, you're earning 20% interest on this. Pay the debt off first. So now that we say that, let's really help you guys out, right? So if you're still watching, make sure you hit the like button, because we're about to talk about how you can actually, work with the debt you have. So the first thing is a balance transfer. So remember, we're going to put the link in the description below, but let's just talk about it. Really simple, right? I don't even have to break it down. A balance transfer is a type of credit card transaction in which debt is moved from one account to another. For those paying high interest debt, such as a move can save serious money on interest charges if done strategically, bro. So this is how it works. Like I read through this article, I read it, it makes sense. Literally these steps, I'm not gonna go into detail, but apply for a card, initiate the transfer balance, wait for the transfer to go through, and then pay down the balance. Why is this helpful? Because if you have a credit card that you're accruing 20% interest on, and you choose to apply for a credit card, they have promotions where you're actually able to get 0% interest accrued for like between either 12 months, 16 months, 18 months. So if you do this, and let's just say you have card A where you're accruing 20% interest of $10,000, and you roll that over to card B with 0 interest, bro, you can pay this debt that you have off without accruing any interest. So this whole thing that we just talked about in the other example where it takes you 109 months, you don't have to worry about that as much because you can knock it down. That's why it's very important. And this strategy works extremely well for people who are thinking about getting married, because we just made a whole video on that, right? This works really well for you guys. People who have heavy debt for student loan payments, or people who just, unfortunately, you guys are just, you might have lost your job. It works extremely well, so definitely check that out. But let's give him another tip, bro. What you think?
Yeah, and I kind of want to also just like reiterate that, where people got to look at how debt works, because look at when you're paying your house off. Y'all know interest is really what you're paying for the longest before you even really start touching principal or anything of that had a lot of debt that you took out. Y'all know they always kill you on interest, so you want to make sure. Imagine like a world where you could just actually get to the principal already, so you can pay that debt down. That's what that balance transfer allows you to do. Now, something else you could do is actually literally just make a call. Like, make a call to the credit card company and ask, hey, can I please get a lower rate? You'll be surprised how they honor that. We're talking about, there was a study done where like 75% of people that looked out for that, who tried to get a lower rate, were able to get that with just a call. So you never know. Actually, literally, my friend contacted me because I gave him this tip, and he was like, yo, they lowered my rate. So now he pays less on his credit card debt than he would have been. And especially for people with 10,000, 5,000, we just show you that thing adds up over time. So y'all want to make sure y'all get lower rates with that. A call really can help you out, even with getting a higher limit too. I know we're talking debt right now. Maybe a higher limit might put you into more debt, but hopefully you're responsible. But I'm just saying, calls to your credit card company really go a long way. You'd be surprised.
That's a fact. And I want you guys to think about this, not only for personal people who run businesses. I use that strategy a lot as like a business owner in a industry where I'm spending about like literally $8,000, $12,000 every single month because I need to, right? Like that's how business works. So if you're spending that amount every single month, you don't want to accrue interest on that amount. So you have to use these strategies where you're getting credit cards that have no interest rates, or you're doing transfers, or you're getting a credit card that has a lower interest rate, or if it does have a high interest rate, give them a quick call. So we want you guys to be very careful when it comes to debt, and don't think credit cards are bad. We're not saying that. If you know me, you know I love credit cards, right? Well, we already talked about it so many times. Like, be responsible with your credit card. Get credit cards that make sense for your everyday lifestyle. Like, I just demoted myself from Chase Sapphire Reserve to Chase Freedom Unlimited. Why? Because I already have so many American Express cards that all my travel and everything is taken care of. So I don't need 2 travel cards, which is why you have to be smart in how you're going about it. So that's kind of what we want to say in this aspect.
And I just want to make sure we have responsible credit habits established on this episode. Make sure you guys are paying your cards off, not just on time, but in full. We would love you to do that and keep your utilization low. All right. Now, you keep your utilization low doesn't mean that you can't use your card throughout the month. Remember that you could use it throughout the month. Just make sure that by your statement closing date, you leave a balance on there of between 1 to 10% of your limit. That will boost your score tremendously. All right, but you could use it throughout the month. Just pay it down early throughout in the app. You could literally go on your phone right away. I just paid $100. Okay, let me pay it off right now. Boom, done. All right. So pay attention to the dates that you have and everything, and don't even end up in this situation in the first place. What we just discussed on this episode is recovery. Don't get there in the first place.
Right.
All right. So be responsible.
Rather than be detective. That's the whole point of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel you on that, bro. But if you're just not watching, right? If you have credit card debt, hopefully this helped you out. I know a lot of people do, which is why we want to be responsible and make this video for you guys. So once again, if you're watching, thank you. We appreciate you. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Plus hit that little notification bell because we drop
2 videos a week.
And you don't want to miss them, man. Make sure you check us out on Wednesday. But until then, peace.
Peace.
Soundstripe.